now.
Make sure this is a little volumed up here. So, welcome to Dick's Patio. I'm Dick.
I'm Kate.
This is Kate Dick Show. We're here being silly already. Starting a little late, but that's okay. There we go. Noise will be up a little bit so we can hear people talking. Man. So we're just talking about when us and our friends and family beat the shit out of each other with random shit.
We're such violent.
Like a friend of mine works at this place that's like selling like sticks that you fucking.
They're
like,
cool.
They're like for like social distancing.
I just like really want to see somebody in the park with one of these,
right.
And they're like walking their dog or something, and they're like,
"Get the fuck out of here!"
They're like, "No."
But
too close.
Yeah, I bought a 4-pack to make sure that because one of them's getting broken at minimum. So.
Well, like if it was nice outside, like it was all day until just now.
Yeah, right.
We'd probably have a few of these beers and go outside and really test them out. But
right. Well, yesterday.
the wind picked up and it's probably raining now.
It smelled like it earlier, but.
Yeah. You never know in this state. Sure.
Well, in like 2 minutes it could be fucking snowing too, even though it's 85 degrees yesterday.
I kind of wish it would. My apartment is hot. I ran the AC all day, and my bedroom is still like 100 degrees. Yeah.
Well, whenever like you're working from home and you want to not be on fire, it's fucking cold as balls in this fucking basement at all given times. Yeah. Literally it'll be 80 degrees outside. I'll have all the windows open, and for some reason in the basement it's still like 65.
It's kind of lucky. Yeah, I kind of forget that. You know, when the weather gets a lot nicer, we usually, we put the heater away, and then it's like, you totally forget about it, and so it snows for the first time, and it's 42 degrees down here.
Well, and like if we do need the AC, it's fucking real balls cold with that industrial big ass thing in the back.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, oh my gosh, when they bought that thing and they put it in, I was like, what house is?
Yeah, this house is it's not big enough.
Yeah, I was like, this thing is built for like a business
office.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like when there's like 45 people in there, it's fucking huge. We will have to worry about that when we do move this to the patio. When we are doing it, we'll have to make sure it's turned the fuck off.
So it's not blowing our shit all over.
It's not very loud, but it's right next to the patio. Oh, what's up, Alyssa? How you be? But yeah, it's so fucking big, and it's right next to the patio. So it's a problem.
Well, even then, we're gonna have to figure out a fun way to set up because if we could do it earlier in the day, we wouldn't need to put lights out at all. But since you get off work at 4 and I get off work at 6, it's kind of like, huh.
Right, it's a little bit different. But I mean, for early summer, when it's June and the sun's out till fucking 9 p.m.
I know, I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's my favorite time.
I'm pretty good. Today was a good day.
I'm just wiped from this week anyway. I can and I think we both can just notice that our weeks are getting longer.
Yeah.
And longer.
Like
busier and busier. And
I was saying, today was a good day. Yesterday
not in a
was a pretty
fun
good
way.
day too. Actually, considering how drunk we got Wednesday. Up till 2:30 and get up at 7. I'm like, I crushed out a bunch of work yesterday.
Good, yeah. That day I was pretty useless at work. I was there. I did my job. But yeah, they called me and they were like, ooh, I know that you're not here tomorrow, and I was like, no, I'm not even going to be around a computer and nothing. And even today, on my way back out to my parents' place, I had to pull over and fix some stuff from my phone. So it was that took me 30 minutes longer than
the link from Twitch has been really weird. I don't know what it is. It's fine on next year, but it's been weird on Twitch. Plus, there's nothing in this fucking basement since some stuff moved out last week. So it's echo. Yep, a little bit of echo. I need to put some shit in here.
Get a rug or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he moved out last week. He went to live with his sister and brother-in-law. The rent was a little cheaper, and it's closer to work, that kind of thing. Which makes sense. I get it. Mm-hmm. I totally get it. When he moved up here, he was always up here every fucking day anyways. And it'll happen this summer too. He'll be up here all the goddamn time.
He's gonna get super bored. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's just no, I just want to go back to normal.
Well, maybe he is the oldest 26-year-old person I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah. So yeah, he's probably like I feel like he moved in like right when he stopped. Like he was still wild when he moved in, and then he was just like over it.
Well, the last like couple months of it, since we can't go do anything.
Can't do anything. Yeah.
Like that also like hurts that whole like why am I up here scenario, and it's probably gonna be 2 months before we really go back to like being sort of normal.
If even then, I don't know. Like people are like, this might change the way we are for like a long time, and I'm like, I can see that. I don't know if we're ever gonna grow out of the like. Is it the flu or is it something else after this? So.
Knowing Americans, it's gonna be. I'm surprised. Like that's why like I've been seeing like a ton of people. Like when I go out for my bike rides now, like there's a ton of fucking people out, and like just they're not working, so like they're just out doing the thing.
So it's. Well, and I know too. Like for our county size, we don't have a lot of confirmed cases in this county, so it kind of makes you feel a little better when you like go out and you're like, if they're confirmed, they're probably not out, right? Yeah. So it's like. Kind of makes you feel a little better, a little peace of mind. We
don't have that many people at all up here. Like
last time I checked on like Wednesday or Thursday, we had almost 400 cases after all of this whole thing has been going on, and we don't have like I mean, Colorado has people passing away, but like our county doesn't have a lot.
Like Denver and Boulder County are like a little bit more rough, but like up here, like it's because they've never really did the distancing thing. They just everyone went to work anyways.
Weld County?
Yeah.
Well, Weld County is like a little more factory too. Like think about that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of more butcher houses, dog food plant, like crap like that. So.
What? Hello.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Who is this? Vip65. How's it going? Yeah, so it is a lot more factory. Whereas here, everybody can work from home for the most part. And that's why like this county really hasn't hurt like. I don't know that many people that got laid off or like got furloughed or all that kind of stuff.
Only from the company you work for. But that and like the restaurant industry and stuff, and like even then, like now with this stuff still going on, I'm not like trying. I don't want to even go to the bars anyway because I'm like, all we do is drink and smoke. Like we do a lot of that. So like if we get sick, we might not make it through. So I'm like, oh God. Try to be real careful about it.
Yeah, I'm not super duper worried about it just because, like, again, with the low testing, it's what it is. We don't fucking know. We have no fucking idea. But yeah, it's with him, like Seth and shit was like, move, it's okay. I just wish he told everybody else before he fucking told me, which was kind of a bummer. But
that's such a trend video. All the big news that like you should know that like that like directly affects you. You're the last person to know. Oh, I didn't know about Seth leaving until you told me.
Yeah, well, and I told you like the day after.
Yeah.
He told me, so it was like, and like Charles fucking knew. I was like, okay, Charles. How the fuck? He's like, oh yeah, he's been like talking about that for like a month, and I was like, fuck you, Seth.
Not to me, yeah.
But again, like it doesn't affect me in like any like real negative ways, and like now I have an extra room that I can like put shit around, which is kind of nice. So like I think I'm gonna put my bicycle shredder down here and put something on it.
Yeah.
So I have a few of those because I got kind of fat doing nothing for like 2 fucking months. Kind of a brutal scenario.
Yeah,
I'll go for a run once a week. It's okay.
I know. I'm like on days when I'm like I don't want to go for a run. I'm like, well, me and Bear have to go for like a 10-minute walk.
But with it being nice, like recently, like Eric, my brother, came over yesterday. He wanted to use like the internet to like download some shit since he's out in the country. So like yeah, like whatever. Like he's working. I don't know if I've told you too. He's working on and off. He works 1 week and then not the next week.
Still for the college?
Yeah. So like he's solid over there. Like and the thing is like they can't drop his pay unless they like vote for it. So like or they can everybody kind of scenario.
State college.
Yeah.
Budget cuts. Although I heard that like the public school system in this area is preparing for budget cuts like crazy.
Well, and CSU is too also.
They fucking shouldn't have built that stadium in the first place. Think of how much money they would have, guys, if they didn't build it.
Well.
I mean, maybe not because a lot of it was fundraising specifically for that reason, but and like a grant.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it'll survive. That one's not too worried. I'm not too worried about his like scenario. But he was over here yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, like Amanda's gonna like bring up like my sister's gonna bring up something for him or whatever. And I was like, I called her, like, bring your fucking bikes. Let's fucking go for a bike ride. Because I mean, yesterday was it was perfect. It was like 70 degrees at like 5 p.m. when they showed up.
How nice.
And,
That's so nice.
We went for like just over a 10-mile bike ride, and Eric hasn't ridden a bike in forever. So we put him on my fucking my Cannondale, my old bike, and he's like, "It's weird," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not something you just sit down on because we're gonna go on."
It's not a Huffy.
Yeah, we're not like my shitty e-bike that I have. So I'm like, it has brakes.
What are you drinking?
What am I drinking? It's called, it's a cucumber sour from Oakshire Brewery.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's just really light.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into light beers now. I had an IPA earlier today, and I was like,
Which is funny because it's all you were drinking on Thursday.
I know.
Or on Wednesday.
I know. It comes and goes. I don't know.
Is it super cucumber? Why?
Cucumbery. Not really, actually. That one's not that super. It's like cucumber water. It's kind of like the flavor profile.
Yeah.
But like with being beer.
A little sour in it. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Just try to support the little breweries too. That's why I got the Rally King. Keep trying to buy that stuff, and I still have a fucking case of PBR from last week. Without Seth being here, I'm not gonna go through most of his beer because he drinks beer all week.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
oh, we're not gonna have any riddles anymore.
well, we can just get that too. That's not a
I'm
problem.
like, I don't want to go out of my way to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to drink.
I don't know. I don't think you've been here when our Texas guy. He lives in Austin, real close to the brewery for that. And he's usually he'll chime in. He's like, "Where's the fucking Lone Star?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Our first one that we did, we had so many people from so many different places, and so I don't even remember who we used to talk to. Except for that one guy who was like,
Richard Love.
yeah, I only like it.
He won't even watch if you're not even on it. He's like, "Where's Kate?" And then he gone immediately. I was like, "All right, cool. See you later." We have the same name, you fuck.
It's always nice to have a fan, you know.
But yeah, I won't go through as much beer for sure. All the 30 racks that I randomly have,
Yeah.
it definitely won't go away the same way. So even though, the slight no roommate scenario, rent increase, it's not gonna be that bad. 'Cause I'll probably save a couple $100 a month just in beer, just him not drinking it. Which I don't care if he drinks it, that's what it's there for. That's why I buy
Yeah.
it. So I'm just drink it. So it won't be that big of a deal.
Oh man.
Yeah?
I'm just so wiped. This week, I didn't even work today, and I'm like,
Yeah, but dealing with your fam too is always a little
Yeah.
fun scenario.
well, yeah, and I guess maybe shout out if she ever watches it. Today's my sister's 34th birthday, so
Right?
she was drunk when I saw her today.
Plus, there's the 4 hours of driving, which is
Yeah.
always brutal. Even with no traffic, it's brutal.
It's such a boring drive. I think that's what it's like driving through Nebraska constantly, or
Yep.
Kansas, where you're just like, I'm so fucking bored right now.
There's nothing to look at in that drive.
There's nothing to look at, and I've been doing it for more than 10 years. So I'm like, I wish it was different. I wish it changed. It wasn't.
Yeah, that 4 hours of driving is.
I love both of your faces. I'm going to go drown my sorrows in league to feel something.
Well, have fun with the game that you fucking hate. We haven't played in a while. But just hit me up this weekend or during the week or whatever when we play games. But yeah, it's one of those drives. There's just fucking.
You want to join later?
I might. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see how drunk I get. And if I'm really drunk, I don't like playing games. You know that. At all.
But yeah, no, it's boring. And then it's now when I go out there, I don't want to see any of my friends anymore because everyone's so terrified of everything. And talk about a community who got hit hard.
Yeah, for being small town Colorado.
Yeah, and you're like, shit, everybody out there has it. It's horrible.
That's a brutal scenario. And so that's, that doesn't really help on the day off to do it,
I know, oh, God.
We'll get a couple days
But
here,
anyway.
just chill for. We'll be all
Yeah,
right.
well, I'm like, yes, I get 2 days where I don't have to do anything, hopefully. I think I have to do a little bit of work tomorrow, but other than that, it's whatever, who cares?
I keep telling myself that I need to do some work on the weekend, and I never fucking do it.
I like working on the weekend way more when they're not calling you.
Yeah, all the constant fucking chats. And, don't get me wrong, I'll work at like fucking like 11:30 p.m. like just to bust some shit out, like on like a Monday or Tuesday, just throw shit down. Like I worked till like 1:30 on Monday night, just because I was just crushing workout because I wasn't getting fucking bothered.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm like, I can't do all this shit when I'm in meetings all the time, guys.
Yeah, it's like stop.
Yeah, and today was like a mandatory day off. They were like, everybody has to take one.
Well, I mean,
I was
that's
like,
still good.
right.
I wish, because I was supposed to have a couple days off a couple weeks ago, and I was going to put the transmission in my truck.
Yeah.
And I was just too fucking busy to do it. Like, we got the shout during like the company-wide work meeting today, like me and my partner in crime there. Like, we got the shout out for doing so much work. Like,
That's so good. That's such like a cool thing because it's just nice, especially when everyone's like so stressed. And I know the people at your company are. And it's like nice to be recognized for hard work.
yeah.
Instead of just like, why the fuck am I here?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's been a brutal month. Like, we did, between me and him, we did the same amount of work that we did from October to December.
That's nuts.
Yeah, fucking crazy. And it's like that drop off of like, because there's been a few people that got like furloughed and canned and shit. Like 20% of the company lost profit. Like we lost 20% of the profit.
Yeah.
So there was gonna be people that like fucking like bounced out of there.
Well, and I know like a lot of people are leaving on their own too.
Yeah, because it is so hectic and it's a hectic job anyways.
It is, yeah. I always hate that. Like you see, like when people are like, "Oh, millennials, what do they do?" Like sip. I see it. I saw it all the time when like shit became like essential versus non-essential.
Oh yeah.
Like people are like, "Oh, now people are like mad because they can't sit behind their desk and do nothing." And I'm like, I wish you would spend a week in like what I do and just hate yourself.
Yeah. I always hate that. I mean, like I'm like, an older millennial in the realm of things, and like, but like the people that I've known as millennials have always had 2 fucking jobs, always doing so much more fucking work
Yeah,
than the
we're
average
pretty
person.
exemplary, yeah.
We just bitch that we don't get paid for it because it's true. Fucking old people doing old people things.
I was in a liquor store in my hometown. I was in there with my dad. I think this was like over Christmas, maybe. Anyway, we ran into this guy
We were
who.
time too. We were pretty drunk the whole time too.
Yeah. We ran into this guy who, like, we grew up with his son. And we ran into him at the liquor store, and he was like, well, I know if millennials would get off their asses and do something. And he was joking around because I was there, and I was like, maybe if you guys paid us more money, we would actually want to do shit for you.
Get the fuck out of here. And that's been the whole fucking problem. It's like, oh, you just do more work. No, that doesn't make any more money.
No, I'm not going to do more work.
I already do too much work.
Well, and that's it too. Like, how many people work for companies where they feel like they can't say no? A lot of
it's
people.
probably a majority of them, honestly.
Yeah, like I definitely don't feel like I can say no if someone's like, hey. And so when everything like catches up to you and then you're like suddenly having to sit down because you're like, okay, so.
Yeah.
Remember that one time you were going to get me an intern? Not buy me one, but like get me an intern.
No, buy you an intern. It's okay.
It's like,
It works that
buy
way.
me an intern, donate an intern.
Give me that fucking shit.
Yeah, like, and that's it too. It's like if I want to take a couple of days off, have like a 4-day weekend, I can't because it's like, who's going to do my job?
Yeah. No, and that's
kind of bullshit.
it
I
is
don't like
super
that.
bullshit. And like, like my company's always like, oh, just take your fucking days. And it's like, then I come back to all the same work. And then double
Yeah.
up. Like, if I'm like fucking, like, I get quite a bit of PTO time at my current job. Like, don't get me wrong. But like, if I take it, I come back and like for the next like, if I take 4 days off, for the next fucking 8 days, I'm doing double load. Like, just
Yeah.
crushing it out, like just hardcore, like moving it. And it's like, why are you so far behind? I took my PTO like you told me to.
Remember when I got sick that one time?
Right?
It's never gotten better. Well, that too, like, because my company's the same way. They're like, we're not going to bother you guys. You guys need to take those days. And then I got a call that was like, hey, just because, you're taking the whole day, like, we're going to need you to hop on in the morning just to, like, do this, like, thing really. And I was like, no.
No.
That's just not how it works. I'm going to wake up whenever I want to. Because despite what a lot of people think, I still like to sleep till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Best time for me to sleep is between like 5 and noon. Like that's
Yeah,
that's my jam. Otherwise,
Like,
I'm wait till fucking 2. I get up at 5:45 and work my fucking way through the day.
Yeah, I don't want you calling me, or that's it too. Like when they call me before I'm technically like on,
Oh.
and I'm like, don't call me at 7 o'clock in the morning again. Well, it's 6 o'clock your time. What are you doing?
Yeah. Why are you awake?
Yeah, take a nap.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing? My job is like, our jobs are easy enough. We can do them at nearly, I wouldn't say easy enough, but like
I would say convenient.
They can be done at any period of the day for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is some stuff during the day that's much nicer to do it like when you can talk to somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I've easily done like one of my main jobs at fucking early in the morning just because it's available and I'm not sleeping anyways. So I'm like, here we are. I'll just bust it out. Not a big deal.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten to the point too where I obviously needed like a day off. Like I need my weekends.
Yeah.
And like, so, cause like I'm at the point where like if somebody calls me for like, hey, just real quick question. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you calling me? Don't call me about this
Don't.
again. Like someone emailed me about a project that I don't even know anything about, and she is my content writer. And she's super nice. But she is like, so like, what am I doing for this project? I was like, you're gonna have to talk to our boss about that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, what are you doing? What am I doing? I don't know. I have no idea what
Nobody
you're
tells
talking
me
about.
anything either, so.
I don't give a shit about what you're talking about
This
until it
actually
gets like
reminds
in
me-
my like on my plate. I'm like, don't even bring me. Like, I'm not even along for the ride.
This reminds me, one of my friends at work, she and I like back and forth, just like a bunch of bullshit. Just nothing serious, just a bunch of bullshit. And she's got garbage that I need to like do for her actually at work and whatever. But like, she always gets these emails where her name is spelled like, she's got a pretty like common name in my opinion, but it's spelled incorrectly. Like every time that people put it in there, so they always like send her like these like emails that have like, her fucking name is like just totally fucking wrong. It'd be like 3 names instead of 2 names or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. It's not that weird of a name. Like, stop.
Yeah.
But like, so there's that, and we all of us in like the team kind of make fun of her for it because she's just always these shitty emails. Well, and one of her underlings too, that she's a lead, and under her like one of her, she's like probably 6 years younger than she is, but she calls her the underling calls her ancient, just as a fucking joke. Like, you're ancient. Get the fuck out of here. So yesterday, all the dumb shit that I buy that I think is hilarious. I bought a like a aluminum like name like plate that you put on your desk, and I put the misspelled name on there with ancient underneath it as a job title. I was like, this is a pretty good $30. It'll be okay. And our boss is like, I posted like in the group chat, and my boss was like, she was like, that kind of makes my day, like, fully. Like, it just made the whole fucking week. It's so funny that you're gonna fucking spend $35 just to fucking make fun of your friends. Like, I buy dumb shit.
Yeah. I just like, I don't have anybody on my team that's my age, so I get made fun of a lot for it. Because they're like, oh.
You're just a baby.
Yeah. Or like, if like somebody will be like, you're an adult. And I'm like, yes, all the bills that I pay have let me know that.
Yeah. The reason I'm stressed that you paid me a day late.
Yeah. So like, I hate that kind of stuff because I'm like, I get it. Like, I know that I am. So like, and they know like, oh, I just have this one boss that grinds my gears like all the time. And I'm like, don't fucking say that kind of shit to me. Like, I know I'm an adult. I don't call you. I'm like, you're a grandpa. Let's get it together.
Well, maybe you should.
Let's get it together.
I probably wouldn't fly very well with that
He'd
one.
be like, excuse me. We don't like it, do we? No.
So stop it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's like, I don't know, like, it's fun to like make those like kind of jokes so that the person's like receptive to it.
If they can be,
Yeah.
yeah. But this is
Or
like
they're
a
just
really
doing it
classic
one way,
example
like-
of like, yeah, they can't take what they dish out. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, you're gonna be mad at me if I call you fucking old man. Like,
yeah.
shut the fuck up. Don't be like, oh, you're a little girl. Just fucking roll the memes out.
I literally got like so pissed one time. I was in a meeting and I got mad. I got mad because like projects are talked about like a month ago. They're like sometimes projects never come back around. And then like suddenly it was like, oh, I know we never talked about it, but did you ever get that done? Like, no, because we never talked about it. There was like an idea.
Yeah, you didn't
I
pull
put
a
it on a
plan
card.
together.
I talked to you about it in like 3 different meetings. It was on an agenda. We never got around to it. I didn't do it. And like, and I just got really pissy and like a little elevated. And I calmed down like in the meeting. And I put back on my happy voice. I will say this. I'm really good, as long as people aren't looking directly at my face, at sounding happy.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, of course, right? You just like know how to sound like happy. Anyway, I got a call from one of my bosses, and he was like, "You want to tell me what just happened?" I'm like, "Did you not hear any of the conversation?"
Did you not pay attention? What was going on?
I was like, I don't know.
I love
That's
that like, passive
kind of
aggressive, like, tell me what it is. No, you already fucking know. There's a reason why you're asking.
Tell me what's happening. Please stop talking to me like I'm one of your kids. No, I don't want to tell you about anything.
No.
Like,
Just fucking be like, I didn't like your tone. Okay, let's explain that. Like, what did you not like about
let
it?
me tell you why I got frustrated instead of like, we don't talk like that. We might not talk about that. I talk like that sometimes when I get mad.
Right. Well, like, you know, like, us being, as long as we've known each other, we're like, no, like, okay, like, let's just calm it down. We get there. I
Yeah.
get there. Like, and we're both loud, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, in person, it's like a much, like, it goes fucking up here. Like, whenever I've had, like, when I get, like, frustrated at work and I start getting loud, they're like, whoa, what's going on? I was like, just stop. Like, and I've definitely been like, you need to fucking listen in a corporate environment. That doesn't fly very well. I've definitely been told,
You get
like,
to talk to HR real quick.
you need to calm it down a little bit. Luckily, everybody's like, okay, because we were all kind of, you know, too stressed. Again, like, right now, like, I'm like, it was like I was telling you, like, last week when I was like, my coworker, when she was like, oh, well, did you change that? And I was like, yeah, like, did you look at it? And
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
They're like, oh, no, like, did you change it? And I was
You have to look at that. That is your client. You look
Yeah.
at it. You double check it.
No, like,
Where's your responsibility
did
in
you-
the chain here?
Did you look at it? Like, this is before the client was even brought into the scenario after I fixed it. I was like, did you look at it? Well, did you I was like, did you look at what I told you to look at? No. Fucking look at it. Like,
Oh my gosh,
like,
yeah.
and if it was been in person, it would have been over versus chat. It wouldn't gone over well. Like, I was like, did you fucking look at it?
Fucking
Like,
look at it.
just fucking look at it. I already told you that I fixed it.
Yeah, I do not do like very well because and one of my coworkers said this to me too. Like he was like, I was like, my practice working from home is to check my email once an hour.
Yeah.
Because that just makes sense to me because nothing is that urgent.
No, and
Not
Gmail
ever.
also updates so goddamn slowly too.
Yeah, I know. No shit. Like, I'll be like, I think I refreshed the page. I'm not really sure.
Like, I get the ding on my phone.
We'll
and
try
I'm
it again in 5 minutes.
I'm like looking at my email. I'm like,
Yeah. Like, wait, what?
it come on my phone before the actual interface?
Yeah, so I check it once an hour and I let it reload and, do like the thing. But then I'm getting like chats and I'm getting texts and I'm getting calls. And like to me, I'm like, if something is urgent, like in my point of view has to switch right now, call me.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna get pissy because you sent me an email 5 minutes ago and I didn't see it,
5 minutes ago? Like,
yeah, I'm
it's
like,
like I'm doing another job right now.
yeah, I don't just sit here and stare at my emails hoping that someone's gonna send me an email.
Please talk to me.
I'm
Like,
like-
get the fuck out of here.
Because I've been in trouble for that too. Like, somebody emailed you. Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Why?
Probably don't want to read it, to be honest with you. But I'm like, just chat me. Like, the easiest way to get a hold of me is to chat me or call me. And I've even gotten to the point now where, like, when I'm like, whatever. And I'll pick up on the last one. And then they're like, oh, good, I got you.
I do the chat if I'm like, I see something I don't want to deal with. I'll just let it sit for like an hour. And like sometimes I'll get like hey, did you get that? Hey, did you get that? I was like, yeah, I read it. I already fixed it. Here you go. Like I do that kind of scenarios. Like I'm already like the busiest person. Like I don't need your shit right now.
Yeah.
Your client that pays us $300 a month isn't that important.
He's priorities, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that too. Like, I'll get like a chat, and then I'll like see it, and I'm like, okay, let me just hop in there and do it really quick, and then I'll be like, yep, that's done, that's taken care of. What I don't like is when I get a chat and then an immediate call. Hey, so did you see that I like? Yeah, because I'm the only person in this company that's figured out how to download the chat thing like on my computer instead of just leaving it open in a tab. So I know when I get a chat like immediately. That's why I'm like, just chat me instead of emailing me
Right.
if it's that urgent. If it's not urgent, then like don't worry about it. I'll get around to it.
Well, and like what's crazy too is like in that corporate environment, like fucking 99% of what's urgent isn't fucking urgent at all. Like, oh, this doesn't go out for like 2 fucking weeks. Like, we're not even like, why is it urgent? Whoa, it's not. Oh. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? It sounded like
sounds like the
straight over
TV's
here.
on or something.
For me, it was like right here. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, like I just don't think things are like as urgent as they need to be, and like especially when somebody sees like that, like we're a part of a whole thing now where we're downloading, where we're donating a lot of money to like Feed America.
Yeah.
And so I got a text that was to like this, and my boss was like, I want you to at this person, this huge celebrity, and be like, we're doing it too. And I was like, okay, well, it's 9 o'clock and I don't work tomorrow, so no.
I don't need that backlash either.
I'm not even gonna, because I know I'm not gonna be able to look at it for like 3 days.
Well, it's one of those like things. Like, and with us being like in marketing, we understand like very few things are like an urgent scenario. Like,
And it's
because
not. If your website's down, that's urgent.
Yeah.
Because we're running, that's our e-commerce. But like, the rest of it is not.
And it's one of those things like too is like the urgency level like also is really easy to fuck up marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Like super fucking easy. It makes no sense to like rush it out there. Oh, we just said like fucking like remember that Forever 21 shirt where like the where they added with the monkey shirt on the black child.
Yeah.
And like the world went ape shit for basically no reason. It was like, who gives a shit?
Get why, right?
We understand why.
It's kind of the
Twitter-
same thing when like Urban Outfitters came out with the Kent State sweatshirt that was bloodstained, and you're
Oh
like,
my god.
ugh.
Well, that's because like the fucking like management of that company's a little.
He's a fucking psycho. But, like,
I was gonna say special, but fucking psycho makes way more sense in this level.
Because remember that same year they came out with the striped shirt with the star on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god.
What
and
are you
like they were
doing?
like, it's called fashion. I'm like, no.
No, we know what it is specifically.
We understand all of your viewpoints right now. I don't know when you stopped going to
I
therapy.
forgot about
but
that,
you
'cause
should go back to therapy.
Because when that shirt, when they're like, you should take it down, he was like, fuck you!
Yeah.
Eat dicks!
That was a really good year for the fashion industry, because then for like all of those stores, because then like American Apparel got like busted because their models were like too skinny because they were like photoshopping them way skinnier.
Right.
And like these girls would literally you were like, she's obviously photoshopped.
You're like,
no one can
cool
literally
stick
do this
figure, bro.
skinny.
Like-
Yes.
What are you doing? Just draw it onto something instead of like,
you're like,
cutting it
I
out.
don't know what that is.
it's all blurry and bullshit around it. And like, fuck.
Like,
Get a good
well, they
Photoshopper.
didn't even do the blur tool right. Why are they using the blur tool for this?
Hire somebody proper if you're gonna fucking do it. Not just like the fucking like 17-year-old intern that's like, it's my dad's company.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, whose child is doing this right now?
That, and it's one of those things, like, I love, like, now Photoshop's, like, so good, it's pretty easy to, like, do that kind of shit. So if you fuck
Yeah.
up now, what are you doing? Like, you don't deserve to be doing that. Like, stop.
Yeah, this is not your forte.
No.
Just because you can run like video software doesn't mean you should be the person photoshopping real marketing images.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed this either. This is something, like, that I see a little bit more with my job, but, like, the SoundCloud rappers and their, like, websites right now are, like, heavy. And, like, I was sent a chat from one of our clients, and I was like, and it was like, it started like, it was like kind of like this lady, and she was like doing like a class, it sounded kind of like a class, and then like,
Like Billie Holiday?
yeah,
So
kind
that
of,
would sound really good on
yeah,
vinyl.
like something like that, but like she wasn't like her, like she just like wasn't really like doing it like in that scenario, but like it was like kind of like black and white video, all this shit. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
But
I'm
like,
like, what?
and then like about a minute and a half in, it starts like, she's like rapping. And like,
I was gonna ask you if she was gonna rap during this.
Yeah.
I'm like, when did she start rapping?
like started rapping, and I was like looking at like her shit, and like we're building this website for like this like, she's got 100 subs on YouTube, and I'm like, all right, build a website. I get it, but like she like, just one of those rich kids, that's like, tons of cash, like Rebecca Black style, like just
Like Paris Hilton.
no.
When Paris Hilton came out with her album with that Star song on it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but that was after she was already famous, like TV
She's
stuff.
like she was,
and-
but like really classic. Like I think I'm gonna try music now.
Yeah, which is kind of sad because she's actually like a pretty decent DJ.
That's what I heard. Like,
Like pretty
She's
decent.
not so bad.
Yeah, and you're like much better than Shaq, by the way. Shaq is bad at DJing.
yeah, but Shaq's likable, so it's fine.
I'll agree with that. I'll fully agree with that. The problem is we have this like bad connotation of Paris Hilton too, though, because like the TV
we
show
watched
is like,
her growing up.
yeah, the
like,
TV
it
show-
just ruined her life.
oh, you're like, oh, you're 22 years old doing this show. You're gonna be kind of a shitbag. Everybody at 22 is kind of a shitbag.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because
We all
why not? Yeah, right?
Yeah, we get
definitely.
in that
I
though.
made way too much money when I was 22. I drove a truck with 22s on it that was loud as fuck. Like, we were all kind of shitbags. Like, you know, like, oh, $1,000 weekend? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
we made a lot of for whatever reason. Well, I didn't pay like dick in rent when I was like 22.
right. Well, rent. 10
I was
years
like,
ago
it was
great
like
in town.
$400.
Mhm.
So I was making more money than that because then on top of that, as for people who work in the service industry and not like, but we didn't work for tips, we made a lot of money. Where like
Oh, at the
I
movie bar, you guys
yeah.
made none of you. That's why none of you left because they actually paid you
we
good.
made a lot of money. I was like,
They
yeah, no,
actually-
we get to break up the tips.
Yeah.
You get $50. You get 50, but we had to split it between 8 people. I'm like, somebody cut Avery's in half because he's never here. No.
But at the hookah bar, like it was like, you know, luckily like the bosses they were not that dissimilar in age, so they understood it. You know, they're both like roughly my age. I think Alan's a little older than I am, but like Aria's like close.
No, they're the same age. So let's see. If I am 30 this year, then Alan will be 38.
Okay, so they're like 4 years older than I am then.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that wasn't that dissimilar in age. Like, versus like working for like, if you were working at a hookah bar where like, the owner was like 55, they'd be like skimming that shit like.
Yeah. They're
Minimum
really
wage.
taking it off the top.
Whereas like you guys got paid pretty fucking well, especially 10 years ago. Like honestly, like that was not a bad wage for like a 21-year-old person by any means.
Yeah, we were making a lot of money.
Like it's not even like that dissimilar to what you're making now. Honestly, like
I mean,
you make more now, but like it's not like.
I think I like make more money than
But it's,
I do.
it's,
I
it's,
do.
it's not like that crazy amount more though.
Not really. Well, but that's because we don't get paid for anything anymore. So like what? Me and you make roughly the same.
Yeah.
So I guess if you like cut that in half, I think like part time I was making like just over 20 grand a year,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing because
Yeah.
then I'm also living on like student loans and stuff. So like we weren't hurting for money.
Yeah, it wasn't like a crazy thing, and that's why none of you left, honestly. Because there was people that worked there that like hated working there, that like stayed for like 2 or 3 years longer than that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even like when Wingate worked there when they first like started, like he didn't leave for fucking. He fucking hated that fucking job. He hates people. Why would that be a thing? Like I barely see him, and like
Well, that's like J Moore. Like J Moore never left the back unless like the hookah bar cleared out and it was just the regulars. So like he was just
because
like
he was shit faced the whole time.
he always looks bad.
Always,
Oh my God.
always shit faced. Talk about an alcoholic at 20 years old. He was that guy. For sure.
What were we talking about before we got into that?
I don't know. Does it matter? I don't think so.
No, because I had like something to say to that. But I don't know.
Obviously, it wasn't that important. You don't remember it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them things. Take this. I actually hit the restroom real quick, so you can
I
try to
hate
do.
talking to
I know
myself.
you just hate doing. That's why I won't do this one by myself.
I
Like,
hate talking to myself. Like,
which is kind of surprising. As much as we talk just allowed.
Yeah.
That we don't like talking to us ourselves. Like, I don't either. I'm not the person that's like talking to myself. Like,
Well, I
working my
think
way
it's
through
because, like, really, when you get down to it, like, we don't want this podcast to turn into, like, what's going on inside my head right now. So I'm like, well, maybe
Nobody
just
needs-
take a short commercial break.
Well, if we didn't do a live stream, then we could, but it's easier this way.
No, we need to get some sponsors so I can be like, MeUndies.
Just do some reads while I'm ready up. Be right back.
That would be
It
awesome.
would be pretty funny. Like, we need some like ridiculous sponsors, this kind of thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like some silly shit.
Well, and also,
Also,
okay, so this Social Stick USA thing. So there's a warning on it that says this product is intended for measurement purposes only. All other uses are forbidden. So I guess.
yeah, it was a full lawsuit scenario they were worried about.
I mean, who's gonna sue somebody else? I mean, like the company, you know? I mean, I don't even know who has the time to sue people for all the dumb shit that goes on in this world.
All the time, like, just get over it. You didn't die.
Like, I can see, like, out of all the most famous bullshit lawsuits, I can see why McDonald's got sued for their coffee. Because, like, when the lady came back to be like, it burned me, there's not, like, a warning on the thing, I didn't realize it was going to be that hot. They were like, fuck you, that's not our problem. And she was like, all right, I guess I'm just going to sue you then.
Yeah, it was definitely a thing on that one for sure.
But this, for sure, I'm having a really hard time. It's also for ages 18 and up only, so
My biggest thing with coffee.
don't give this to your kid, because it's only for ages 18 and up.
18 plus. Oh, like, yeah, like I said, I bought 4 of them because one of them's definitely getting broken.
I mean, look at this thing. Who is going to let this in a store?
Nobody.
You can't just walk into a store with one of these things. They're going to think that you're pretending to be blind, and then, yeah, you're going to be like, you need to stand all the way over
I thought about,
there.
like, when like I first saw it. It's like the blind stick. It's
Yeah.
like straight up. But, you know, I was like, I'll buy one. And then I was like, oh, there's a 4-pack. And it was like even like less expensive as like the 4-pack. Cause like we got like, I got the deal, being a friend like scenario on like that one. And then I was like, oh wait, it's like way less expensive. Cause it turned into like being like, I think it was like $8. It's like $8 instead of like fucking $10 or whatever. And like they were selling it for $20. And they have like 8,000 of them, is what he said.
Good luck.
And it's like, well, no, they've sold like tons of them apparently. Because again, people are afraid of this shit right now. It's like, I get it. That's why I just don't go anywhere. Like even at the grocery store, I'm like, I go during the day where it's like not a problem.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna break it, so I was like, I'm not buying one. Because somebody's getting hit with it at some point. Like I just know me and us and our friends. Like that's
Yeah.
That's,
I really feel like like it'll be like one of those things that I have like in my hand when I'm on like a work call, and then I'll be just like walking around with it in my hand, like tapping shit like in my apartment.
Fuck this, fuck that.
Oh goodness.
It's gonna be one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be silly with it, so. Just buy it. It's okay.
Just buy it.
I bought dumber things.
I can just like imagine like being in like the grocery store with it though, and like somebody's cart gets too close, and you're all, no. Well, back it up. Back it up.
Nobody needs your shit. Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna bring it to I'm not even gonna bring it outside unless I'm beating the shit out of somebody with it, to be honest. So.
And I'm gonna take mine outside a lot. I'm gonna be like, Bear, let's go for a walk.
You just pretend to be the blind person, just with like the dark glasses on, like. How people are fucking like, fuck. How is she walking a dog right now? Is he like running around? And you're like looking at him like all this shit, but you're still like pretending to be fucking.
Bear. I'm like, I have very good hearing.
That bitch ain't blind. Get the fuck out of here. It's like all these conspiracy theories of like Stevie Wonder's not blind. Have you like seen those?
I saw one of those because I think like I heard a joke, or like I heard it in like the form of a joke, because he was at like where did I hear that? It must have been like a movie or something. Like he was at a party in like the Playboy Mansion or something, and someone was like, "He's not blind."
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. Like I think I like heard the one where like he sort of like passed him like a basketball like when he was like beating Michael Jordan. He like caught it, and it was like one of those scenarios where it could be like a total like. It's possible he caught it without noticing it. Like like shit happens when you like somebody throws something you don't notice and you just like randomly catch it. Like you get that, but like it was one of those. That's what I heard. It was like he kind of caught the basketball. It was like meeting Michael Jordan like back in the day. I'm like, and it's like it's just turned around so many times. All this probably comedians because that's what I pay attention to. A lot more than that, but I feel like the tags are colored the same.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
They're not just black bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, for what? So, okay, I was watching America's Book of Secrets, and it's on Netflix, and I'm late to the party. But they had, like, a whole episode on the Playboy Mansion and how, like, the Playboy Mansion used to be run. And, like, how, like, people are, like, banned from being on the guest list for like certain things, right? Like putting your hands on people that you shouldn't be putting your hands on. And they're like, we'll never tell you who's on the list and who's not on the list. And like, we'll never tell you what actually happens at those parties.
I mean...
And they're like, and everybody who walks in here signs a form that says what they can and cannot say.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a massive, like, you know, fucking, what is it? What's it called? NDA.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I
like
can't even
you
imagine.
have to, like for that kind of party, you would fucking have to have that because there's so many famous people, or there was, you know, before all this shit.
Yeah.
There were so many famous people, and like you know, for many years, like Playboy was like the forefront of, you know, the magazine industry and things like that. Like, even though they were like, technically you could call them a nudie bag, but that wasn't like really.
There were articles.
Yeah. No, the thing is, it was, and they were the best ones, to be honest. It was good shit. Like, it was a good magazine. Yeah, and everybody likes fucking looking at, like, boobs and stuff. Like, everybody does.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody.
And if you're not, you're lying to yourself. Like.
Well, like, I know, and you know, obviously, our education background goes into, like, publication and things like that. And so we learned a lot about Playboy and how, like, it came to be and its turnaround in the media atmosphere and like things like that. And so, I mean, obviously, look how this man got so insanely rich off it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can't even imagine what like it takes to like live in that house, to be there all the time, and like to go to those parties, because that would be wild.
And I'm sure, like, you know, over the years there was some like shady bullshit to go along with it. Cause
for sure.
With money and like fame kind of comes that
especially
scenario.
like in the 80s and stuff, like when this stuff kicked off. Yeah.
So, you know, luckily they had, you know, it was family run forever and ever. Like, you know, like fucking the publisher, like, you know, all the stuff that they did was run by his daughter and things like that. So, like, it was like, you know, and currently it's run by his son, like the whole thing is. And it may not be what it used to be because, you know, we have a lot more access to information and nudie pictures on the internet. So we're good there. But, you know, it was like a few years back when they were like, oh, we're going to go like non-nude. And then, like, as soon as Seth died, it was like, no, we're not doing it anymore. Like, we're back to what we were, that kind of shit. But you look at like how like influential they were through the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and into the 80s even, were like, they were the only source of like news that was like not super conservative and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, even news now is designed to be like, we let you know what it is, but we don't really tell you the whole thing because we can't. Things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you read a magazine article or whatever, it's always kind of like skirting around the issue or whatever they think it should be or what it is because they can't, you know, piss off their fucking advertisers and all that kind of shit. And like, I'm fully like, you know, free speech and freedom of the press and that kind of stuff because that's how we stay a sane society. Hot? That kind of burned?
Well, and I
How the
think,
fuck that happened?
like, there was somebody I was telling them, they were like,
clean floor.
oh, that's okay. It's easy to clean up.
Right?
Like, someone I was telling was like, yeah, I went to journalism school, and they were like, that's not even like a real degree. And I was like, that's like the only job that's protected under our Constitution.
Right.
I was like, It's kind of the only thing that's ever guaranteed.
Well, it has to be because like without that, like we would turn into a fucking authoritarian like society.
Yeah.
And that's we have a problem with with people thinking that it needs to go away based on a certain orange person. Or it's like that's fake or whatever. It's even if it is fake, the idea is it's free. It's supposed to be say whatever. You need to fucking learn and take information sources not from just one,
Yeah.
but from a lot, and like learn the deal.
Well, and that's like a huge thing that we talk about. We get into this conversation a lot where we're like, just because you don't agree with a news source doesn't make it any less correct than one that you do agree with, because the bias is, unless it's so obvious, almost unintentional. So, like, it depends. Like, you can put a magazine, like, you could put an article in the New York Times and you could put an article on Fox News, and it could be the exact same article, but based on where they're put, you will determine if it's biased or not.
Well, that's very true on that one.
And you learn that in all of your studies and things like that. And, like, I get super pissy when I see, like, who was it? CNN, actually, got in major trouble for creating a false news article, actually, pretty recently. And they were like, oh, yeah, we didn't double check the sources, so I guess that's not how it went down. And, like,
This reminds me of another one. Keep going now, and then I'll talk about that one.
God, like, and I was like, you guys are gonna get so sued.
It was like that plane that crashed in like Cali, where like I remember where it was specifically. It was California, and the news station, like the local news station, like got a tip that like the audio of like the pilot, and it was like or like the crew or whatever. And it was like something wrong, like that kind of like and it was like super racist.
Oh my
Did
God.
you see that? It's
No.
so fucking funny. Because they put it out like they put that shit out like immediately. It was like
They didn't even
20 minutes
check.
after, they didn't even check. They just put it like on live air and shit. And anybody that watched it was like, "Are you shitting me?"
No, guys.
Yeah, it was whole thing. I'll find it real quick when I'm done making this call.
Oh my gosh.
It was like this whole thing, like. And like I saw it, like, and like someone was like, "Oh, look at this." And it was before they redacted it, before they're like, "Oh, like we didn't like fully know the whole
Right.
thing."
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
"There's no fucking way it's not this on." I watched all those, and like there was like several other sources where it came from. Like, yeah, this was live. They did this live on fucking like 4 o'clock news. And you're like,
That's what happens when you try to break a story before everybody else. You're like, let's get this in there because we're the first ones. Like, and I know a lot of news stations, I don't think people like realize this. So news stations are getting footage of like horrible accidents or something. It's not because their people are there. It's because of companies that sell to the media, companies like On Scene. And those guys, there's a whole documentary about this. And they listen to radars and they go out when they hear these accidents and they try to beat each other to them. And then they try to be the first guys back cutting that video to get it to the news stations. And then the news station will put it on like nightly news or whatever. Or the morning news. But like it's kind of a dirty industry. But a news company can't be everywhere.
Well, especially like, with the budget restrictions that are like, again, having more information available to us and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But, it's always like disheartening when like, you see a news crew or whatever that like, you can tell does all the work to like make sure it's correct or whatever
Yeah.
they can.
Like a really reputable news source.
And then people will be like, oh, that's fake news. They're just biased on this. And I'm like, no, like, you can obviously like, look at what's going on and see that they may not be always right 100% of the time.
Right.
Because nobody is. Nothing ever is, 100%.
Well, and a lot of times, like, that's a big thing with reporting. It's not like that person killed them. It's allegedly.
Yeah.
Because we can't prove that they did or not.
Yeah. It's not for us to decide that's what it is. A court system that's janky sometimes, but it still is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hate like the whole like immediate fake news just because I don't agree with your shit. Like, look at it like a different way. Like, pull multiple news sources, information about whatever thing that you're worried about, and run the whole thing. Otherwise, you're doing a disservice to you and the people around you because you're gonna start saying some shit like.
Well, and to me, and this is just an opinion piece, but like,
To me, in my brain,
all the people that complain
just
about.
so you know, it's an opinion
Yeah, this is an opinion. Don't fucking jump on my shit.
on a
Like,
comedy show.
all the people that get so upset about fake news are the ones that were bamboozled with it in the first
Oh
place.
yeah, totally.
Like, these are the guys that were sucked in by all the literally fake news that made Donald Trump look so good that was like coming from all these outside news sources that weren't real news sources. And then you get these articles coming from reputable news agencies. And there are some really good ones out there, guys, like Al Jazeera, BBC. These are really good ones to look at, generally non-biased. And they were like, that's fake news. And I'm like, there's not a more honest news source than Al Jazeera, I promise you that.
There just isn't one.
There just isn't.
Like fully community funded in authoritative countries, and they're still being like, yeah, just say whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just
Ooh,
all bad today.
That scared me. I haven't been that scared in a while. I was like, oh.
Well, I think we've had enough excitement in our lives. I think being scared is probably not a thing. But yeah, it's one of those things where like, there's, even if it's like what you might say is not reputable, but like it's nationwide and people know the name or whatever, you know, worldwide kind of scenarios.
Yeah.
Take what they're looking at and what they're saying, and you know, fact check it. Do the thing. There's sources available. There's a lot of studies. There's a lot of like other places you can get your news from, and like it's like saying like as much as like we can say we dislike, you know, let's say a Fox News or a fucking MSNBC or whatever. If they're not the only ones like reporting on it, because if it's big enough, they shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Look at multiple sources, even if it's 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
You know, you get a different perspective or whatever. You're not just listening to some talking head asshole doing talking an asshole thing. You know, like you look at like all the people that like were super huge into like InfoWars and Alex Jones. You see what he said today, or like today or yesterday?
He didn't.
He was like, if this like quarantine thing doesn't fucking end, I'm gonna start fucking eating people and shit. And it was like, how are you still a fucking thing?
How are you still? Because ratings, but that's showbiz, babe.
Well, if he would agree that it's showbiz, do it. Like The Onion and things like that, like, you know, high society news, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing satire, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I love me some Onion. Like, I love pissing people off in the
It's
Onion
so
articles.
funny,
It's the best. But, like, if he would go out and be like, just at the bottom of the website, this is satirical, cool, I'm in. He may not have to say it out loud, but just something that says that, say whatever the fuck you want to say. I don't give a fuck.
Well, like, a lot of people don't even know. Like, tabloids are really good at this, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, tabloids were the OG just bullshit Facebook repost.
Yeah.
Because if you just read the front of the tabloid, you're like, oh my god, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are cheating on each other? Like, bullshit like that.
Wild sex orgies.
Yeah, exactly.
Public. And you're like, where is this public? I want to see this.
Like, what? In public? But, like, but if you actually read a tabloid, because it's not real news, because it cannot be confirmed, at the bottom of every single one of those stories in that tabloid, it's like, we can't confirm this.
Yeah.
And so, like, and people are like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, you got to open it up and actually take a look.
not
That's
just
like
leave
the
it
way
in front
they
of
get
it.
you. And even like when we have friends that repost articles, like, right? Like when Kobe passed away in that accident, and then we had a friend post an article about a helicopter accident that happened 4 years ago. And her boyfriend was like, this happened 4 years ago. And she was like, oh, I don't blind pose. If you're not the smartest person in the room, just don't say anything.
Well, and the thing is, half the people, this is why like clickbait titles for videos and articles and that, like they make a thing because that's all they read.
Yeah, well, there's like a reason too with like Facebook's algorithm, and this one for marketers now or people who work in social media. You're like, we have to have things just right on our website for this to pull accurately because you can't turn it around anymore. You can't customize things anymore, and that's where it was screwing a lot of people. Like, that's where a lot of fake news bullshit came from, that people would get so scared of. Like, I saw an article that North Korea was gonna, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that they're, like, best friends. Like, I don't But did you read it?
Yeah, did you actually like go in there
Did
and
you
like
just
do
read
that?
it?
And it is a huge problem. And again, like with the spread of, the problem is like generally intelligent people, they're not like posting a bunch of garbage. They're not doing whatever. They don't have the time. They're doing their,
Yeah, we're
they're
busy.
doing the stuff.
We're busy.
Yeah, busy. But like you got these people that like that are friends and family that you go to family reunions or friend gatherings and you're like, this person is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But they're always the most vocal about whatever it is, positive, negative, whatever. They're the most vocal because they have nothing better to spend their fucking mind energy on than bullshit. They're like, oh, you get I love all those like if you repost this, you get like fucking, you're entered in a drawing for $1 million and it's like RVs plus or something like that, like some bullshit. You free RV, and you're like, nobody gets a free RV on fucking Facebook. Get the fuck out of here.
Or like the Ray-Bans one that's been alive for fucking 10 years. I don't even know how this thing is still happening.
Well, you just get tagged in it randomly while your fucking idiot friend has a password 1234. Get the fuck out of here! Stop!
Why did you repost this?
Or like they sign up for those I always if I do those name articles or whatever, oh, your name means this, or those kind of sketchy shit. You always go in and remove their access to everything afterwards.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you have that problem.
Yeah, you end up with that shit.
Yeah, and it's like...
I have cousins that literally sit there and fill 5 of those out just to see what they're different ones they get. And I'm like, it's not telling you your future.
No, it's
not telling you anything about yourself that you probably don't already know.
It just randomly generates some bullshit. Well, it's like astrology and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's I hate that when I read, years ago I read it or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm an Aquarius. And you read through oh yeah, all that, everything's that kind of scenario. You're like,
I am tough.
Yeah.
It's just very vague statements that who doesn't want to be complimented and agree with it?
Yeah. Or even when it comes to shortcomings, oh yeah, I do have that thing, and then they just accept it. Oh, I'm fucking an Aries or whatever, and I'm immediately all my shortmings are forgiven.
I'm a Gemini.
Shut the fuck up.
Kind of shit, yeah.
But yeah, it's
my multi-personalities are immediately, it's because I'm a Gemini.
And they're fun to read for me, where I just read because they're kind of funny or whatever on occasion, where I'm bored, it's 3 a.m, let's read it.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
we get the fucking, the magazine.
The Rooster,
the
yeah.
Rooster, and we read that shit, which that was designed to be silly anyways.
Yeah, those ones are funny.
So you just go through there and you read some silly shit, and you're like, okay, that makes, that's funny, do the thing.
Yeah.
But then there's people that actually believe that shit, and you're like, huh? What?
And
Or
this month, my period's gonna be extra heavy. Right?
And then you just accept it, and you're like, oh, I hurt today. Oh, what a coincidence.
I'm about to come into a lot of financial gains.
And then you're just sad when it doesn't happen. You're like, fuck!
They're like, where's my money? Totally forgot we were live, to be honest.
Well, that was a compliment on that one, so you got
Oh my god, what did he say?
You look like Natalie Portman.
I get this a lot.
Yeah,
to
a
be
little
honest
bit.
With you.
I wouldn't say straight doppelganger, but
No.
it's not a very far-fetched scenario. I look like a basketball, so there's that. Not with all my goddamn hair that I have right now, but it's one of those things I could see that though. Natalie Portman makes sense. Who's this? Well, so we got Waterproof Beck said that. We got some AOGO, what's going on, and then OB the OG. OB the OG. Old bastard, the old gangsta. We're just fucking chilling, drinking, just talking some bullshit, as we do.
Yeah.
On probably most occasions.
Just airing it out. Why do people suck so bad?
That's generally my problem with society. Why are you mad all the time? Because people suck. Period. You're weird. I am weird. Thank you. Name's Dick. And my name's not Richard, so get that one. But yeah, it's... No, shut up.
Oh my goodness.
But But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I always like just love that like those people just follow that shit like so goddamn much. You're just like, fuck off. Like nobody needs your goddamn horoscopes in my fucking newsfeed every goddamn day. Immediately unfollow.
Well, there's like a lot of people that I've noticed that get like really offended by the articles coming out about obviously the pandemic that we're in.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's so sensationalized, it's not as scary as they actually make it sound. And I'm like, at this point, the headlines are literally just like the number facts. So it is scary.
Well, it's one thing like, you know, we're very like middle of the ground. Like there's obviously some of this bullshit, there's some of that bullshit.
It looks hot. Wait for it, dig out road.
Your pink toe looks hot. That's an interesting comment right now. I think we're gonna have like a rowdy bunch right now, which is okay with me.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's like one of those things. Like we're always like middle ground. Like there's some of this, there's some of that. We're on the thing. Like even like right now in our current situation, it's like I was talking to my brother-in-law yesterday. It's always like in the middle ground. Like I'm always like I run like you know like there's some things that I'm like. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this on both sides. And that should be the case because somebody somewhere is trying to run it both ways. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? I don't know. What is this?
Nacho cheese.
Oh. I feel dumb now.
You should feel dumb because that...
I feel real dumb. I can't eat cheese, so fuck that shit. Get the dairy out of your goddamn life. It's bullshit. Makes you fat.
It does make you fat.
Believe me, I know. God, I feel really dumb with that one now.
You just got fucking mobbed on by like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's like a fucking like total like scenario. We're like, fuck, dude.
You just got fucking pumped.
Well, it's always like this mixer scenario is always crazy because like it's. I don't know what it is about like the mixed community. I love it because like it's always silly and that kind of shit. I like the silliness, but like we'll get like people like in here too, like come watch my stream right now. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, and I'll do it for hours. Like there was one like where Charlie was on there like just talking shit to this kid, and like the kid just, like kept coming back. Like I'm like, what are you doing like with your life that you need to bother me over your 5 follower scenario? I don't have many on here either. We just started this shit, so it's like there's not a whole lot either. So like, help us out, like do the thing, but not be like, come watch my stream, come watch me play Fortnite and shit. I'm like, sure, because I play that game even.
I don't even know what that is.
Good.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like a gamer either.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, sometimes like last week when they started like roasting us and shit, like at one point, like I don't know what was going on. It was like they were trying to make fun of me, but also being like, I like you, and I'm like, so say some stuff that I can talk about or something, not just some fucking garbage that's like, fucking look at this stupid video. I'm like, I don't care. That's not what I'm here for. If I wanted to stare at my screen, I'd be doing it right now. It's fucking right here. Don't want to be staring at my screen right now. Give us some shit to talk about.
God, I know.
Right?
I'm so brain dead. Yeah, I'm like, I wish somebody would.
Well, and like, you know, like the last like couple months have been hectic as shit. And like, which sucks is we can't like do our standard like, you know, oh, I've had a bad day or I've had a rough day. Like, you know, not a bad day, but it's like, it's been a long day. I want to go see his fucking like, you know, see like my friends that work at the bars or whatever. And like, just, you know, go hang out, get some loud music in the scenario, go to a concert. We can't do all that shit right now. And it's like, like fucking straight up. Pretty bummed with the concert we're supposed to go to next week.
I know.
Yeah, but
Me
it was
too.
gonna be a thing, and it was definitely gonna be canceled. The one and only fucking show in Colorado. We're like, nah. Sweet Fu Max chair. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty chair, honestly. The Fur Max chair. It was $120, and it's now that I have to sit in it every day. I'm like, I should have bought a bigger goddamn chair.
My office chair is literally like I sat in it like 2 days in a row, and I was like, it's just metal. Like I don't even know why.
Why did I do this? And it was one thing like when we like go work from home, like on occasion.
Yeah, but
like,
now that
cool.
we're in our offices all the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm in this chair for 14 hours a day. Jesus Christ, my back fucking hurts. It's rated for like 2 hours.
I have to pee now.
All right, you do your thing. watching here? We got a couple here. We got one on Twitch. Waterproof bag. Are you watching? Is that the thing still? Boom X chair. Who's texting me? What we got going on here? Maybe we got something like to talk about here. Oh, that's just one previous. I was gonna find that fucking article or that thing about like the weird airplane. Some long airplane because that was fucking hilarious. Asian pilot names, yeah. From Asiana Flight 214. Like, oh man, that was a long ass time ago. But pretty fucking silly. Pretty fucking silly. This is why I don't do a fucking like by myself podcast because I couldn't fucking handle it. Talking to myself is just ridiculous. I don't know how these other comedians do it, where they're just like talking to themselves. I can't do it. It's a wild scenario. Like the Bill Burrs and the Costelias, like I can't handle it.
Is Queen Amidala single?
Amidala? I don't get it. I don't get it. But no. I don't get your reference there. Help me out with that reference. I guess I have my phone in my hand. I could probably just fucking do it myself. Amidala. What the fuck is that even? Do I even want to look this up? Amidala. Oh, you're okay. Yeah. The Natalie Portman reference. Okay, I got you. But no. So I found that like that like plane scenario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fucking play, you cunt. You cunt!
Coroner is still trying to determine the cause of death and whether she was already dead when the truck hit her. We have new information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the 4 pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Po. And the NTSB has confirmed these are the names of the pilots on board Flight 214 when it crashed.
Yeah, that was like a real fucking thing. Like, somebody put that out there on the teleprompter. Like,
every millennial in the world is like,
yeah,
not a real story.
Not a real story at all. Pretty fucking dumb. I was like, who the fuck is doing this shit? Like,
oh my god.
yeah, it was just one of those like serious like, huh? And yeah, I saw it before, like, because people were posting that shit like crazy. Like, you're like, this got around before you redacted it. Like, that's a problem. It'd be one thing if they had redacted it prior to like it, like getting viral, but like, yeah, it was like all over Reddit and Twitter and like all this shit. And you're like, well, you fucked up.
Yeah, because people were like, I don't think so.
This is how your job gets a little ruined here.
Fucking idiots.
Well, and that's, you know, those are those kind of things too that like do make people be like fake news. No, it was just an idiot mistake that like somebody definitely got canned for it real hard.
Yeah, but like, who was writing that story and wasn't like, I'm noticing a trend here. Hold on a second.
Well,
Like, who doesn't have a sense of humor? Like, even if I gave that to one of my parents, they'd be like, hold on a second.
When that plane crashed.
oh shit, it was in San Francisco. He
Is
was
that what it said?
Yeah, he was on the 101 when it crashed.
Oh, jeez.
How old are you? That was like fucking like 7 years ago. But yeah, like,
I don't think we're allowed to ask people how old they are.
sure we can. Fuck them. What is it gonna be? They're like, oh yeah, you want to see my news? I'm 14. No, I don't. At all. That might be a problem, but no. But yeah, it's like, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know, like the age thing too. Like this crash, that's like 7 years ago. Like, the average age of like Mixer users is low, like including like Twitch. Mm-hmm. People like they're under 30, like by a long way. So like, I think like the average age of Twitch is like 23 or 24 right now, like for like the user base.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like even for me, like I like me some video games and like that kind of shit, and like I'll rarely watch it. I just don't. if I'm gonna play video games, I'm gonna play them myself. I don't fucking want to watch somebody else fucking do it.
Yeah,
But like, I have no
understood
problem like with people wanting to. And it can be entertaining, like fully. Like, don't get me wrong, like watch a stream every once in a while. Like we're like, especially working from home, you're like, I'm just tired of listening to music and watching podcasts right now. Like, give me like something different right now, and at least relevant to me at that point in time. And like, this community like does do what we're doing, which is something totally different. It's not even game related.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that like we can get that way. You were not in a car seat. All right, so you're old enough to remember that then. But yeah, it's one of those things like, luckily this community is becoming, a mainstream thing. Like you get fucking, 2 billion users on or 1 billion users on Twitch, and like, several tens of millions on Mixer. YouTube is in the billions, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Well, YouTube's been around forever now.
Which is crazy because not really.
Well, I mean, but for most of our lives at this point.
Honestly, it's not even half my life yet.
Almost.
Close, because it came out in 2005. Before it was bought with a Google machine.
Yeah.
So like I remember like when it first rolled out, and you're like, this is cool because like before it was like fucking like daily video and like all these like random video sites that didn't really have like a structure. There was just daily video, like this is all it was, and take 100 fucking years to fucking download it on your 56K modem and shit. When you had to have the fucking cable box to like watch TV.
Simpler times. Simpler times.
Kinda. I mean, in our lives, definitely like simpler times for sure. When I was fucking 19 years old when fucking YouTube came out, I was like, cool. Like I've been an internet nerd since Telnet days, like playing chess and shit, like back on the Yahoo fucking games and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I used to play a lot of pool.
So like, it was cool that like, like it becomes much more of a thing, playing video games. I've done my entire goddamn life. I remember like being like 4 years old, my dad like bringing the Nintendo home. Like,
YouTube was cat videos before.
you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. It was very internet culture. YouTube was until Google, and then they had to monetize it, and people started making money on it, which kind of happens when people like things.
Yeah, you should make money off it.
Well, it's like the whole like, is art worth making money for? Yeah, it is at some level. At some level, it still should be your own thing and like that kind of shit. But I don't need your shitty drawing of a fence. Get the fuck out of here. I saw like one of my friends, like she's like doing a bunch of art stuff, and she like posted something about it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, I wonder what she's selling that for. And she like posted the bottom of the post, and I was like, man, you're a cool person, but that's not worth $250. Like,
oh my gosh.
I can put together that with a stencil scenario. You may have hand drew it, I get you, but if I can like spray paint it with a stencil, yeah.
I think one of my favorite artists, like local, was Wingate's sister. I don't know if she still does art, but I remember going to one of her art shows, and I was like, she had one piece in there, and I was like, man, if I had money, I'd buy this.
Do you remember, I don't know if you know this, like, Colleen, she used to have that art store next to, like, Bondi and, like, a Little Bird, like, bakery.
Where she would redo, like, people's portraits? She'd, like, paint people's, like,
sometimes,
portraits?
or whatever,
yeah.
But, like, she wasn't that great. And, like, I like Colleen, like, don't get me wrong, she's not, like, a bad person. She's kind of dumb. But, she's not, like, a bad person, but, like, family has too much money. And the only reason why she had, like, the art gallery downtown is because her dad was just like, here's thousands of dollars a month. And I was like,
Must be nice.
yeah, a little bit. To be that kind of dumb, like, where you're like, you're a nice person. Like, I don't want to, like, be mean about it, but, like, you didn't deserve your own fucking art gallery. At all. Especially, like, not now, where, like, all these people, like, do, like, crazy, like, sculptures and shit by hand and shit, like.
Yeah.
Have you seen, like the one that Kobe was, like, recent?
Yeah.
Dude, you're like, for one, who the fuck has the time?
I know.
Even now, like.
Well, I used to know that guy who does all of the fire and police, like, bronze sculptures. And that guy, I'm like, your shit is, like, incredible. and we would take that stuff to like FDIC just to be a part of our booth so we could like
Yeah.
help them out. But like that guy is like national now. All he does is like make sculptures for everybody all over the United States.
And it's cool to do that, to have that passion to run
Yeah.
that way. Because like it's like, and to be like that, like I'm doing it no matter what scenario.
Well, and his story is so kick-ass with like his learning disability and like things like that. And he's maybe like a year or two older than I am. But like his name is Austin Weichel, guys. You guys should check him out. But like his stuff is like so cool. I don't think that there is there's not very many departments in like northern Colorado that don't have something that either he gave them or like that they wanted.
Yeah. So like it's pretty cool, like that scenario. Ready for this?
Yep.
Scotty, what are you doing?
My dog does like synchronized stare dancing with me. He can stop and he whoa whoa.
Well, because if you roll down here, he's like barking upstairs, rah, rah, rah. He was doing
How
it
you
earlier when
doing?
you were sitting up front.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good. How you living?
Yeah.
And so do I need to pull this out to make sure we're all social distanced? did you show
Is that your
you this?
ditch
Really look. So Avery's working like on a website for a company that made these edits.
That's how far away you're supposed to be from me.
I'm that far away from you, dude.
But yeah.
Dan, I'm at least 6 feet away from everybody right now. This is a beer.
He can't see you. It's over here. You couldn't see you from where you were.
21
So
years old.
21 years. I like long walks on the beach.
you like do like the old school video like dating. You remember those?
Check this video. We are meeting social distancing expectations.
I think we're allowed to have 10 people in the same room now.
Yeah, that's all this that's all this is supposed to be for.
Wow, you should have had that the other night, dude.
I mean, I didn't get it until today, so like
I'm telling you, Sarah crushed that one. I don't think any of that holds any water.
anywhere ever.
They have a pot hookah.
That was
They have a pot.
yeah, that was a thing.
And
This
there's
is
only
the
a
other
single
night.
hose, and I'm like, well, watch the whole 2.5 hours and see who smokes out of the hookah.
Yeah.
Only one person, I was like, and it's not pot. I mean, I'm not saying he'll do a voluntary drug test, but it's not pot.
I mean, in the reality, I haven't been fucking high in like a long time.
No, I know that, but I mean COVID-19, like, even if it was a pot hookah, if it wasn't, you don't share it in the whole video, so it's like,
Well, this one's not really that scenario whatsoever.
Yeah, since we both smoke, but
But that's, I mean,
we're talking different.
yeah.
Are we still live? Or?
yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
You can't see it from where you're at, so I mean that's what it is right
Shit
there.
happened, so we're just commenting on it. I am the Shadow Man.
Scott, just to
Don't use
reiterate.
my first name.
Oh my god.
You've been on it specifically as Scott, so shut the fuck up.
Don't use my first name.
It's like it's a generic. We all have like that generic name of white people. Anyways, I'm Nick. We got Kate. We got fucking Scott. We're all pretty generic white people
And
names.
we don't live at 15. 8052.
Oh my gosh.
But we do.
We all have that generic name. First names are okay. If we're pimping like artists out, we can like throw the whole name out. We put a few names out there that shouldn't be out there, but
Yeah, that's true.
We throw names, I go to Facebook.
I was gonna tell you too. Like when we were riding bikes yesterday, I saw Steve.
Which one? D?
Yeah, yeah. He was like, I like.
Oh, dude, I'm
I like-
usually SD in your life.
I hang out with Steve quite a bit.
The problem is I love his brother, so that one's hard.
Yeah, I hang out with Steve quite a bit actually. I think
He's not
maybe
that
like
good, he's
once a
crazy.
week.
Move back to once a week.
Maybe like once every other week.
Yeah.
Let's not get excited.
I'm just saying, his bro was like pretty good to me.
Yeah, his brother is really nice.
Well, I think Steve's great too. Like, don't like he's obviously
No,
obviously not boyfriend material, but
Sean is cool, dude.
Colorado drive Super 8s.
I drive a Subaru, so pretty much.
Fucked up shit to Sean, and he was still cool after that.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool dude, but you saw him? How was he?
I just it was just driving by. Like we were riding bikes up Linden,
Oh, yeah.
and we were just gonna ride through downtown
Like,
on Remington, and then we just like,
digging
just,
like-
I was, hey Dick, and I was like, oh shit, like what's up, dude? Like,
like the picture thing right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that thing going? That's a pretty cool picture thing, bro.
Yeah, it's like his passion. He loves that.
well, like last year at the Polar Plunge, he
Shows and stuff.
took all the pictures, yeah, for us on that one.
Because I still did that up there. Did you do that? I was like, do I look like I could do that? That's awesome. That's the Aggie and everything around town. Like, that's real town.
Yeah, he does. He like gets so jazzed. He gets to go to all these like really cool shows. Like because he can get into the Aggie. That we have so many friends that
Yeah.
work there. So you just get in on like a press pass, and
I was supposed to go with him to
he ends up
ROD
getting really
in, like, November, I think.
really
supposed to
known
see him,
by
yeah.
these guys.
It kind of launches awkward. Because my buddy was like a hippie, did lights,
Yeah.
and then next thing he was doing like wings, lights, string cheese incident, following like them around the country doing like their light shows. And it was like, dude, you and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He was just like, yeah, it just like started like this, and then you get a little recognition.
That's kind of how everything works, though, with like your personal business scenario. You gotta start small.
Derek, dude, it's Derek. It's a
Yeah.
pretty much to death.
Yeah, you just
Party with the dude. You just get fucked up. Do a couple things, blows up, you run it.
Yeah,
You get a couple people that push you in the right way.
that's pretty much how life kind of works in general, though. Like, just you have to prove yourself in some way, especially like if you're doing something like you know unique or different. Like you have to have that push to go along with it. You can't do it by yourself. Nothing works by yourself. You just can't do it.
And money makes money, dude.
You're not wrong about that. If you have fucking, we were just talking about like fucking a person that we know, like that her dad just like throwing a bunch of cash at like her having a fucking art studio. Nobody should have a fucking art studio on their own when they're fucking like 20 years old. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, she also wasn't good at
My
it.
money's making money, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I work for the dollar, but if you got a little backing, it's nice to get paid. You know, I work my 14 hours a day. I work hard. But being able to do a little extra with that, like, it definitely helps.
It definitely fucking helps. So was it that side hustle like can turn into the main hustle for sure?
Bitching today to my B, which is my brother. was bitching to my brother today, and like he literally was like, I can't hear it. I was walking around on 812 roof, I'm slipping off, washing out gutters, doing shit. He was like, listen, motherfucker. Less than 1% of people own 2 houses. You're doing better than fucking 7 whatever billion people in the world.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you're doing just fine. And I was like, I'm sick of falling off this roof.
Well, it's a full first world problem, which we all have those ones. Like we're bitching at our jobs. We have jobs and this is shit right now. So
Yeah.
like we're still bitching about it because otherwise, if you're not bitching about something, like you're not growing, right? If everything's perfect, you're just being
Gives
stagnant.
you a problem to solve, I guess. That's kind of how I've been feeling like lately. I'm like,
Kardashians complain all 30 minutes of that show. I don't really know if I'd agree with that. No, I think failure equals growth.
Yeah.
And struggle is what really defines people.
yeah,
The people that I'm most impressed with in life have definitely all come over major hurdles. It's not that they're perfect, it's they've taken that hurdle and added something to their personality from that.
Yeah, if it
Right.
wasn't for the struggle, I wouldn't be me.
right.
That's kind of the idea.
Well, you're a dick, dude.
I know. Imagine that struggle that caused me to be a dick.
You always kind of been a dick. Well, you were an asshole for a while. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. You're a dick now.
Yeah, I've never been an asshole. It's always been a dick scenario. Dicks are different than assholes. Remember? That's all it is.
Dicks, fuck, assholes.
Oh my god.
Dicks, I'm not getting quotes off.
No, you're
You
not.
can go whatever you want.
Because I'm just shooting from the hip here. Like,
Yeah, I just made this up on my own, bruh.
But I remember something like that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like again, like that whole struggle, and like I don't know what you were just talking about, like right there for a second.
I don't know either.
Before I missed your interruption over here.
No, I don't even know. I have no idea.
South Park.
That's okay. Like,
No, Operation Get Behind the Darkie.
Oh my god, we're gonna
Jeez.
shut this down.
You ever
Shut
heard
it down.
Emancipation Proclamation? I'm sorry, Chef, I don't listen to hip hop.
Shut it down.
That's the best quote they've ever said.
what? Not Chef Shelby talk. Oh my god.
It was in the movie, I don't
Talk
know.
right now.
I don't know, Chef, I don't listen to hip hop. Better you fuckers haven't seen Butter's Bottom Bitch episode?
I haven't watched
You know what
South
I'm
Park in
saying?
a long, long time.
Oh, it's the best episode ever, if you know what I'm
The
saying.
bottom bitch one is great.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking
I
about.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Bitches be giving away kisses. Free.
Oh my god.
It's too much, Scott. It's too much.
Man, I'm just trying to make some motherfucking money.
It's too much.
I just went so deep.
Deep scenario.
That's my favorite.
We'll be going for like an hour and a half. We can cut it too.
Let's cut it.
Want to cut it?
Yeah.
We'll talk about a bunch of bullshit otherwise.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
only gonna get worse. Now I'm on screen.
Let's cut
I'm
it.
just saying, let's make some motherfucking
All right, we're gonna cut this one a little early because we started it real late.
Yeah.
Started real late. You gonna put your face in that shit? It's right. You gotta look at
You
that.
gotta look at that.
Look at
Are
that.
you in? You're in it.
Hey.
He's in it. He's in it.
No documentation of me being here at all. By the way.
Oh my god.
This is too much.
That's so
All
funny.
right. Well, this has been Dick's Patio. I'm Dick.
I'm Kate.
Big Bird!
Yeah.
We don't use our real names because